On our right-hand side, it's 100 North Riverside, aka the Boeing headquarters. Built design on top of the railroad here in 1990. Boeing was originally just a tenant, but they bought the building in 2003. Up ahead, you're going to see up on the corner a blue sign that says the Boeing store. From that blue sign to round about where we are right now, this whole chunk of the building is all built on top of the switching track for the railroad below. The most important role in building on top of a railroad is that you cannot obstruct a switching track. So in order to do that, they had to get a little creative. Now, I hate to ask you guys to do this, but for the only time on the tour, if you look behind us, the back of the Boeing headquarters. Take a look. You're going to see a large white X up there in the roof, right? That is one of 5 wide horizontal trusses. Trusses hold weight. There's 5 of them, bigger than like 5 fingers of a giant hand, that reaches down, grabs that end of the building, and holds all that weight above the ground. That way, that section there that we see does not go lower than street level and cannot obstruct the switching tracks below. Over here on our right-hand side, this is 2 North Riverside Plaza, finished in 1929 by Holabird and Root. It was the first building here on the South Branch to be built on top of the railroad rights. We're about to see a few more buildings here, all built on top of the railroad rights, coming up on the Gateway Center buildings. First off, Gateway Center 1, over here on our right-hand side in 1965. And then Gateway Center 2, coming up on the right-hand side on the other side of the street in 1967. Now they are both identical. 25-story black box office towers designed by the same guy, Bruce Graham. So Alex, what gives? Well, Bruce Graham was an avid student of the great German architect Mies van der Rohe. Now I mentioned him very briefly with the AMA Center, but he's actually very important to know a little bit more about. Mies van der Rohe came to the city of Chicago in 1933 from his hometown of Berlin, bringing with him his self-titled International Style of Architecture, later officially redubbed down here as Black Box Modernism, which is what I mean when I keep saying this black box building, right? So Black Box Modernism, or the International Style of Mies van der Rohe, defined by Mies van der Rohe's personal philosophy of architecture, which was less is more, function over form. Then up ahead of us on the right-hand side, coming up on Gateway Center 3, now home of the Fifth Third Bank Center, used to be home to the Mid-America Commodity Exchange. And also, used to be the same gray color like it is to the base, all throughout the whole thing, up until 2015, where they replaced most of them with the stark ivory white precast panels on the outside, just to help us pop out amongst similar looking neighbors down here. So as we move forward here, I'm going to point out a building that we're going to talk about much more detail later, but it kind of sticks out, and I want to make sure we see it as we pass. Take a look out to the left-hand side. In between the buildings to our left, we're about to be right here at the base of the tallest building in the city, and the tallest building in the world until 1998. Over here on the left-hand side, right now, there it is. 1,453 feet, 442 meters. It is the WILLIS, pronounced Sears Tower. Renamed the Willis Tower in 2009, originally built as the Sears Tower, but we'll get into all that mess here in a little bit. But over here on our right-hand side, coming up on Gateway Center, Prince architect James DiStefano installed these concave convex glass panels to give it this kaleidoscope effect of the city around it. Now, reflect off the side of it too, and we see off on our left-hand side. This is 300 South Wacker. Real quick, look towards the top. You're going to see a red rectangle up there. This is the world's largest You Are Here map. So that's a map of the South Branch. And the red rectangle showcases where 300 South Wacker is and where you are right now. Coming up on the right-hand side, we are coming up on my favorite building in the city. It's the old Chicago Post Office. Designed in 1933 by Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White, another beautiful Art Deco structure, just shy of 3 million square feet of space inside, made this the largest regional post office in North America until 1996, because it had to be. Remember, we had all of these catalog companies in the city, taking all of their products to all of the country, and it all came through here, the old Chicago Post Office. However, in 1996, after the official death of the catalog company, we had to move into a smaller, more modern facility. And then this one, since had been completely abandoned. But hey, it's also, since then, caught on fire twice, and a piece of the post office, like a chunk of the building, fell off of it onto the parkway and nearly made it past the vehicle, but nobody was hurt, thank goodness. But shortly after the piece falls off, this is still 2000.